Welcome to the Bounce Media Network. It's your host, the one and only MC, Mr. J Ski, coming to you live and direct. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit that bell notification so you can be alerted when I drop new and exclusive content. Also, please hit the like button, share the video, and hype the video. All right? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Okay. Let me preface this video by saying this. I am a Caitlyn Clark fan. I'm a Fever fan. I'm not a Fever organization fan. I'm not a fan of the organization. All right. I know that all of us content creators are not the same. Okay. The reason I say that is because some content creators that are CC fans, that are Fever fans, they are basically, I wouldn't necessarily call it a war, but they're kind of getting their panties in a bunch by saying that many of us, if not some of us, are rage baiting the audience in a sense that we're just not happy about anything. Okay. With that being said, let me say this first and foremost. I am very happy that the Indiana Fever beat the Los Angeles Sparks. I'm happy about that. As the old saying goes, a win is a win, right? Now, the reason why, and I can speak for myself, but I would like to think, especially from listening to others, whom I'm happen to be a fan of, some other creators out there, I would like to think that we are more so concerned about how we win. Okay. How we win is a big part of how we're going to perform moving forward down the road as we get deeper into the season. Okay. Now there is a certain person out there that released a video this morning that I happened to come across by happenstance. And she was stating that, you so-called Caitlyn fans or Fever fans, you're just not happy about anything. Okay. And, that's not entirely true because, like I said, I'm happy that we won. I'm just concerned about how we won. All right. There are teams out there that have a deeper bench than we do. Okay. Now, it's twofold. Their bench is deeper, and they also have systems in place that they're going to go to no matter what because they have better coaches. Okay. Myself, speaking for myself, I'm not a fan of Stephanie White. Never have been. As soon as I knew that she was coming over, or I got word that she was coming over to the Fever, I was not happy about it from day one. Okay. When it happened, I didn't have a channel at that time. I was actually just, doing my day job and doing some things and so forth. And I wasn't happy about it. So I didn't have a channel in order to post my views about it. Okay. So this isn't an overnight thing. Okay. I'm not jumping on the hate Stephanie White bandwagon, if there is one. I don't think she's qualified to coach Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever. All right. She doesn't have a proven winning record. All right. This is the Indiana Fever organization has proven themselves to be kind of a mom and pop type organization, whereas it's the next person up. OK. Oh, yeah. Who should we get for head coach? Stephanie, remember Stephanie? She played for us and, let's bring her over. Yeah. Stephanie. And they all you don't even have to say the last name. They know exactly who you're talking about because it's a mom and pop type organization mindset that they're thinking and that the way that they're handling business. Okay. Stephanie White doesn't have a winning record. She didn't have a winning record as a coach at Vanderbilt. I know. Yeah. We're still talking about Vanderbilt. All right. Because she ruined that program. All right. To the extent that all of the players at Vanderbilt were running away from that organization, that program, to get away from her. All right. And then she went over to the Connecticut Sun and she was gifted that team from Kurt Miller, I believe. And she didn't build a team over there. All right. And then she's giving all these press conferences and saying these things and talking about she doesn't want to be too predictable and anything like that. Well, guess what? She's the one that's predictable. Alyssa Thomas said it herself. They know exactly what she's going to run because she doesn't change anything. All right. So, yeah, Stephanie White is just, she hasn't proven to me that, and saying like, well, who are you? Yeah, I'm nobody, in the conversation. All right. I'm just giving you my thoughts and telling you what I think about it. And she hasn't proven to me that she's qualified to coach this team. It was just gifted to her. All right. Caitlyn Clark was drafted by Lynn Dunn and the Fever organization. And Stephanie White made herself available to come over to the Fever all of a sudden. All right. Amber Cox made herself available to come over to the Fever all of a sudden. And it seemed like they're trying to turn back the wheels of time to go back to the days of Tamika Catchings and Stephanie White and 2012 or 2015 or whatever year it was that they won. And they're trying to basically build a team like it was yesterday instead of modern day. Okay. And then the system. It's the system. The system is not tried and proven because you can see the kinks in her system. All right. So, yeah, Caitlyn had a good game. She had a good game. I might even, dare I say, she had a great game. Her 3-ball wasn't falling, and that's fine. OK, I'm not too worried about that. What I am worried about is that you're trying to change Caitlyn Clark to be just another WNBA point guard. All right. And then you've basically got in our girl's head and convinced her that she needs to be a certain way or play a certain way or she's not going to win. And that's BS. I don't believe that. Everybody likes to say that Caitlyn Clark didn't win a championship and a national title or whatever in college. Caitlyn Clark did phenomenal things playing her game in Iowa. All right. The teams that beat her in those 2 years, she beat those same teams. They just turned around and beat her and won a championship off of it. She beat Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks. Then they came back and beat her and won. But they didn't win back-to-back playing her. LSU beat them, and then she came back and beat LSU. LSU didn't run it back-to-back. People tend to forget that, and they try to gloss over it and say, oh, Angel Reese is, all this stuff or whatever. She's a champion and all this BS or whatever. This girl took the Iowa Hawkeyes back-to-back and just happened to lose. And I guarantee you, I would bet money on it. I would bet money on it that had she stayed a 5th year, she would have beaten those teams and she would have won a chip. But she took the higher road and said, you know what? I've done all I can do here. I don't have to prove anything else to anybody else. I'm going to go ahead and go to the WNBA. And unbeknownst to her, I'm going to go there and get my ass kicked. And I'm going to go there and be devalued. I'm going to go there and be minimized. She didn't know any of that. If she knew all of that going in, she probably would have stayed in Iowa and won a national title and shut up all the haters. All right. So this isn't a video that's supposed to be a rant. It's not supposed to be a rant, and I'm going to temper it down because I'm not going to try and go on a rant. But like I said, when I was watching this other, content creator with a bigger channel than mine, much bigger channel than mine, spewing this nonsense about people hating and just not happy and rage baiting and things like that. I'm just giving an opinion. I know some people's opinions are louder than mine on their channels, but some people like to be entertained. All right. Now, I'm not trying to entertain anybody. I'm just trying to be informative. and tell you what I think and on the game and the plays and so forth. Some people, I think they maybe go the entertainer route or whatever, and to each his own, because sometimes I'm entertained by watching their stuff. All right. But I'm not going to try to be them. That's not me. But people that like basketball know when something's different. You remember when all the uproar there was when I can't remember if it was Coca-Cola, or if it was Dr. Pepper, but one of them changed their formula. Remember, like a couple decades ago, maybe, I don't know, it could have been 3 decades ago. I don't want to date myself, but it was either Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper. They changed their formula and the public went crazy. I think it was Coke. And it was like new Coke, like the formula was different. That's how we feel about Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever. You're trying to change Caitlyn Clark's game and you're trying to package it like it's new Coke. But Coca-Cola stock is what it is because of the formula that people fell in love with and that people bought off the shelves. We don't want new Coke. We want the Coke that we were used to, that original formula that's tried and true, that tastes good, that pops, that crisp when it bubbles when you pop that can open. That's what we want. We don't want this Sue Bird new Coke. We don't want this Diana Taurasi new Coke or any old guard WNBA point guard that you're trying to repackage Caitlyn Clark as and trying to brainwash her to think that's what she needs to do. That's how she needs to play. Like she can't win and entertain at the same time. I believe she can. And I believe that the coach that she has is trying to convince her, or has convinced her, that she can't. And she shouldn't be the person that she used to be, that brought all these people in. That's why the Fever organization are struggling to sell tickets. That's why the Fever organization are sending me all these damn emails every day. Hey, we got this sale. We got this sale. It's going to be this. You didn't send me any of these emails last year when I spent over $2,000 going to the games and driving and spending gas and hotel money to go to those games that I went to last season with and without Caitlyn. But now we're on to you. You changed the formula and something's not right, and we can taste it. This don't taste like it used to taste, and people are on to it. And you're not going to convince me that something's not amiss with this beverage that I've been drinking for X amount of time, X amount of years, and now you're trying to tell me that it's the same thing. It's just a different label. No, you mess with the formula. All right. And then also we can see, because we beat the Sparks. All right. We beat the Sparks. We were up 21 points in the third quarter. And then your system started falling apart, and our lack of depth on the bench basically started breaking down, and the Sparks started crawling back into the game. What do you think is going to happen when we go up against the New York Liberty? What do you think is going to happen if we go up against the Atlanta Dream? We had a hard time with the Atlanta Dream last year, and they have almost identical the same team, if not better, because they definitely have the same coach, and that coach is better than the coach that we have. I can assure you of that. In case you haven't seen already, I'm a little bit more energetic. All right. I feel like I was, the last video that I released, after the game last night, man, that game ended. I was up at midnight making a thumbnail for that video. And when I recorded it, I was dry, and I know I was. But now you got the revitalization of Mr. J Ski. All right. This is the real me. OK. And I do apologize for the previous outing, if you will. All right. So, yeah. To that other content creator that's more established than me, here's a message from me. All right. More established than many of us. okay? Because she's doing quite well. I'm not going to say her name, all right? Because she didn't say any names, so I'm not going to say her name, all right? But she knows who she is, and I think she has it wrong, all right? We're all on the same team here, all right? We're all team Caitlyn. We want the best for Caitlyn Clark. That's our player. Okay, that's the person that we chose to say, hey, this is the person that I like. This is the soft drink that I like. I like Coke, not Pepsi. Don't try to give me a different brand of something else and try to tell me that it's the same thing. It was hard enough to get the general public out to watch a women's basketball game prior to Caitlyn Clark, doing what she did in college. All right. The casual person wouldn't really sit through and watch a WNBA game. They said themselves that they could sit in the game and read a book on the bench while the game was going on. That's how quiet it was. All right. And then all these people, this influx of people came in. And then you shamed them. You made them feel, you made people feel like, how dare you come to our league and spend all this money? Yeah, many people felt like that. How dare you come to this league and like this white girl that's entertaining the masses? Yeah, you made people feel like that. So yeah, some people, including me, are not happy with the Fever organization. Definitely not happy with Stephanie White. And you think we should just be happy because we won a game? It's the WNBA. We're going to win. We can win some games in our sleep. Any team can be 2 games away from being in the playoffs. Any team. So no, we're not happy about just winning a game. We care about how we win. We care about the rotations that you choose each day, each game. All right. We care about when you choose to call timeout versus when you don't. All those things play a factor when it comes to a coach. We care about if a coach is on the sideline saying, hey, what do you think what play do you think they're going to run? Hell, you tell me. That's your job. So no, it's not. No, it's no. And how dare you even put this out in the atmosphere as if we're doing something wrong, as if our voice doesn't matter either. Because I guarantee you our voice is louder than you think. Because just look at it. Look at the numbers. Now, I'm not one of the people that are saying, hey, don't buy any tickets. Don't buy any merch. Don't do anything. I'm not saying that. People can formulate their own opinions and walk away with whatever thought in their brain that they walk away with from listening to my commentary or anybody else's commentary. All right. But I read the comments. I read all of the comments that I get, whether it's 200 or 300. I don't respond to all of them, but I read them. I read them all. And I hear what people are saying. And many of them aren't happy. But yeah, if you make some tickets, $28 for a ticket, a hat, a soft drink, and a hot dog, you're going to get some people to show up. But you didn't have to do that last year. Hell, the cheapest ticket I bought last year was $300 for one ticket. And I took my wife and my son each time. And we had a hotel, and we had to drive. And we bought merchandise. We're talking about thousands of dollars. I know they feel that. Because you have a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet says, this is our proceeds or our revenue from 2025, and this is what our projected revenue is for 2026 based on what they're getting right now. Email after email. Basically saying, Mr. J. Ski, we missed you. Can you come back? We notice you haven't bought a ticket. Hey, here's a deal here. We're doing family night here. We're doing university hat night here. Yeah, we see all that stuff. So I think you need to think about before you go mouthing off talking about certain people and their how they feel about, the coaches or the organization or whatever. Because we're not boycotting Caitlyn Clark. We're not even boycotting her teammates. It's the idiocy of the Fever organization for, number one, hiring Stephanie White. Number two, trying to change Caitlyn Clark. And number three, basically, the lack of direction. There's no lack of direction. You can see it. You can see it just by watching the game. Even when we were up by 10 points, 15 points, I was grimacing watching the game the entire time. And my wife was sitting next to me, and she's like, well, what's wrong? Aren't they winning? I was like, yeah, this is looking a little sloppy. This is looking a little choppy. And it's, Caitlyn was phenomenal. Caitlyn did her thing. But I will say this in closing. If you're going to force Caitlyn Clark to change, then she needs to fully buy into changing. And what I mean by that is, I take this into consideration with Michael Jordan. All right, there was 2 iterations of Michael Jordan, 3 if you count the Wizard years or whatever. But I'm just going to go with the first 2. All right, the first iteration of Michael Jordan was Air Jordan. That's who I was introduced to as a kid. All right, when as Michael Jordan, around his first three-peat, the first championship, second championship, third championship, his game changed and he elevated to Michael Jordan. All right, all defensive player of the year, finals MVP. That was Michael Jordan. That wasn't Air Jordan. All right. So if Caitlyn Clark is going to change, she's going to have to basically transition her game like Michael Jordan did. Remember, in the beginning, Michael Jordan didn't have that unstoppable fadeaway in the beginning. So if you're going to take away the logo 3, the step back logo 3 from Caitlyn Clark, which was what brought everybody because it was new, it was something, it was entertaining. If you're going to take that away, then Caitlyn Clark's going to have to, acquire a mid-range game, and she's going to have to do it akin to like Michael Jordan. I'm not saying she's going to have this step back fadeaway or whatever jumper, but she's going to have to add to her game. I really like that she was attacking the basket in last night's game more than, how she usually does. Obviously, she went up against Cam Brink and she swatted that shit. But, for the most part, I like what I saw as far as on her drive and, basically crashing the boards and doing all that. Because Caitlyn Clark doesn't miss any layups like many of these other WNBA players. All right. So if she's able to find a line drive and make it to the cup, then it's money. It's going to go in. So I'm fine with that. So if she's going to change her game, she needs to elevate her game. I'm not expecting her to be the greatest on defense or, that's not her bread and butter. But offensively, she's still better than most WNBA players, if not all of the point guards. Just being Caitlyn. And Caitlyn is great. And Stephanie White can't take that away from her. All right. That's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you listening to me. Like I said, sorry about the earlier video. This is a little bit more spicy, so hopefully you like this, you enjoy this. Like the video, share the video, hype the video. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm Mr. J Ski, and this has been another episode of The Bounce.